welcome to a new video. So in this video I'm going to be listing off my top 10 favourite Batman comics of all time. So if you enjoyed this video guys, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and also let me know in the comments where your favourite Batman comics are. It's always good to get a cool wee discussion about it. Keep in mind as well, I haven't read like every Batman comic out there. There's a few iconic ones that I haven't read yet, but hopefully when I read them I can make a new list. But yeah, these are just the favourites out of all the ones that I've read. So kicking off the list, we actually have Three Jokers. This is actually more of a recent Batman comic, and it basically follows Batman, Red Hood and Batgirl as in trying to uncover why there's three Jokers and who the original one is. It's a really interesting comic and Red Hood gets a lot of chance to shine in it. It was really divisive with the fans and it had a lot of mixed views on it, but personally I really liked it and I would really say you should really check this one out. Coming up at number 9 is actually Batman Earth 1. It's a retelling of Batman's origin story and you have a lot of cool different versions of like iconic characters like Alfred, Penguin, Riddler, Harvey Dent and stuff, and it's a really awesome origin story for Batman and you kind of see him more as this like kind of pre-Batman if you get me. Like he's not the Batman we know and love yet, but he's basically working his way up to there and you see him in his early stages and there's a lot of cool action sequences and you see Bruce Wayne act more human than he ever has and I really enjoy the comic. My pick for number 8 is Batman Under the Red Hood, where basically the second Robin, Jason Todd, comes back as the Red Hood. I'm a huge fan of the Red Hood and I really love reading this comic. It's got a really good kind of message like Red Hood saying to Batman like, why didn't you kill the Joker after all he done? And it kind of gets you thinking, should Batman really kill his villains or not because of what happened to Jason Todd? And it's a really cool story and it's very interesting as well, the dialogue between Red Hood and Batman near the end of the comic. And honestly, it's one of the most iconic ones and I'd highly recommend checking it out. My number 7 pick is Batman the Killing Joke. It basically gives us the closest to an origin that we've ever had for the Joker and has him being this failed comedian that's just trying to provide for his family. It's a really well done comic and it's an awesome read as well. And it basically has a lot of iconic moments which we know today, like Joker and Batgirl and Joker's famous line, I remember it one way, sometimes I remember it another, and also One Bad Day. Really good comic and basically has you feeling sorry for the Joker at one point, even though he does some pretty sadistic things in the comic, and I should really highly recommend checking it out. My number 6 pick is Batman The Dark Knight Returns. This is probably a lot higher on a lot of other people's lists, but I'm also a huge fan of Superman and I'm not big on what they've done with Superman in this comic, but I do think it's an excellent Batman story where he's an older seasoned Batman and he comes back from retirement and you basically see all these older versions of his villains and it's pretty awesome to see. And also the final fight between him and Joker in the theme park is awesome and I would highly recommend checking out this comic and also watching the animated movie because the animated movie is amazing as well. So at number 5 we actually have Batman Year One. I personally think this is the perfect origin for Batman and you just kind of see him starting out, and while I do love Earth 1, this is the definitive origin in my opinion. He goes after all these corrupt politicians, he's just starting out, you find out why he takes up the mantle of a bat as well. Such an awesome read and there's so much I can say about this comic but I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But yeah, go check out Batman Year One if you like origin stories because like I just said, it is the definitive origin for Batman. My number 4 pick is Batman Court of Owls and City of Owls. I know it's like two separate stories, but it basically wraps up into the one big massive story, and it is such an awesome read. Basically introduces the Court of Owls to the DC universe, and they've quickly become such an iconic like villains for Batman. It's so great. It introduces Talon as well, who is personally one of my favourite Batman villains of all time. And it just kind of shows you Batman being pushed to his limits, and you find out all this like underground lore about Gotham, the Wayne family, and all the rich in Gotham City. It's a great story, and you should really check it out because it adds so much lore to the Batman universe, and it makes you think that they've always been there, even though they were just introduced in 2011. My number 3 pick is Batman Arkham Asylum. This is such a trippy comic and I really love it. Basically gives you this new kind of look at Batman and all these villains because it looks like this sort of dream state when all the villains have taken over Arkham Asylum. Does it sound familiar? Because it's what the game is based off of. And it has like all these different versions of his villains, but they always stay true to who they were, and it's great because Batman, he's not this like physical peak Batman that you see before. He gets like beat up a good few times and gets his ass handed to him a lot. And it is such a great comic and it's weird to explain. It's quite a hard comic to explain. All I can say is go read it because it puts you in the mind of Batman. It's such a trippy read and it's got amazing artwork. I highly recommend going checking it out if you're up for some trippy Batman comics. So coming in at number 2 is Batman Hush. This was the first graphic novel I ever read, and personally, I think it is the best introduction to Batman because it features all of these villains, and it's such a simple murder mystery story when you're trying to find out the identity of who Hush is as well. Has all these villains in it. It shows like the majority of the Bat family. You have Robin, you have Batgirl, Nightwing, even Red Hood at a wee point. It's a really good story, and it basically follows Batman really trying to solve this murder mystery, and he's also trying to find out who Hush is. And throughout the comic, you get different hints to who it could be, and it's just like a mystery story, and that's why it's so good because Batman is forced to use his detective skills in it, and that's basically Batman at his peak. There's a lot of cool action sequences in it as well. You have Batman fighting a mind controlled Superman. It's awesome. The artwork is amazing by Jim Lee, and I would really highly recommend checking this out if you want to get into comics or just Batman in general, because in my opinion, it is such a good introduction. So my all-time favorite Batman comic of all time is Batman: The Long Halloween. Just like Hush, it's a murder mystery story, but it takes place throughout a full year from one Halloween to the other, and you basically have this killer called the Holiday Killer who kills people on certain holidays, and it's such a great comic because there's so much misdirection in it, and you're trying to figure out who this killer is the entire time. Honestly awesome, and the twist at the end is amazing. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but I really recommend seeing this comic, or reading it, I should say, because it is an amazing Batman comic. And like Hush, it is forcing Batman to use his detective skills. And you have Batman going up against everyone around him because you can't trust anyone because it's possible that this holiday killer could be anyone. And it's awesome to read. And also, the artwork in it is great as well. It has like this kind of like sort of cartoon retro look to it, which I'm a huge fan of. And also, it has like some of the best villain appearances in it. Personally, I thought Joker was really funny in this comic as well. But yeah, the Long Halloween is such a great comic, and it's another really good read if you just want to get into Batman comics or just starting out. Highly recommend checking it out. So guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. If you've stuck to the end, if you like this kind of content, you should really subscribe to my channel. I do anything related to movies, comics, TV show, games, just anything entertainment and pop culture related. So if you enjoy this, leave a like, and also let me know what your favourite Batman comics are. I'd be really happy to read that in the description. Also, I just want to say as well, my girlfriend has recently started an art Instagram page where she features all different artwork that she does. If you like artwork, you should really go and check this out because it is a lot of great work and it is awesome. So if you like comics, you probably do like artwork. So go give it a wee check out. I'll leave the link to that in the description, and I'll also leave the description to both my Instagrams in the comments as well. So like I said, thanks a lot for watching, guys. And if you like this video, be sure to check out my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. See ya.